Aloha and welcome back to the Legislative Minority segment here on Live at the Legislature. This week, our guest is Representative Gene Ward. Never a dull moment with this man, and we will be discussing a variety of topics here on today's segment. Rep. Ward, good morning. Thanks for joining us again.
Good morning, Kyle. What do you mean never a dull moment with this guy?
Wow, what do you think I mean, Rep. Ward? It's always fun to talk to you.
Okay. Pleasure to be here.
All right. So I'd be remiss if I didn't first mention that yesterday was National Vietnam Veterans Day, and you, along with Rep. McDermott, participated in a ceremony of sorts since we couldn't do it in the Capitol. Can you talk a little bit about your experience and the ceremony and what that meant to you?
First, kudos to Representative McDermott, Marine Captain McDermott. He put together, and he has done this consistently over probably the last 4 to 6 to 8 years. He always acknowledges, as having been the executive director of the Navy League, all of those who have served their country and served their country well. And yesterday was the national, I actually didn't remember it was National Vietnam Veterans Day. I took that as a very, how would you say, personal thing, in that generally those of us who are Vietnam veterans don't talk about it or don't bring it up because it was such a sort of a negative time, particularly in a social setting. But it's giving honor where honor was due. And those three veterans that were honored yesterday in their late 70s, early 80s, were just profiles in courage. One guy had done 2,193 fire missions, as it was called. And I couldn't imagine how, actually, we're all very fortunate to be alive, but how he gave his all, and he's given now a plaque, given a thank you, and trying to give these guys giving honor where honor is due, I guess is the best way to put it. So it was a moving thing. There was only maybe 10 or 12 of us, but it was at the Vietnam Korean Memorial, right on the Capitol grounds. So it's still a sacred ground. And it was a very, very nice ceremony. And for the first time, it kind of outed me. A lot of people didn't know I was a Vietnam veteran. Hey, thank you for serving. People who I didn't know that even knew, I guess the word kind of went around. So again, kudos to Representative McDermott and to those three veterans that were honored yesterday.
Excellent. And segueing to probably a not adult conversation topic, you sit on the Judiciary and Hawaiian Affairs Committee, and today they will be hearing SB 347, which would essentially prohibit the release of balloons with air that's lighter than what's in the atmosphere. And we've heard this bill before. Can you talk about just your stance on it? And
you want me to be frank about what I think about balloons? Because if we look at what's important, I mean, look, we've got a pandemic going on. We've got an economy that's closed. We've got people who are unemployed. And we're talking about balloons, which maybe release maybe 15 to 20 cow farts within our atmosphere. We are majoring in the minors when we do. We're projecting to the people, almost like if people watched the news last night, the two teenage girls that carjacked an Uber driver, after the car went down the street, tipped over, and the guy died, and it shows the teenagers running out saying, oh, I've got to go back and get my cell phone. I got all my phone numbers, not caring about the guy who's dying. In other words, this cow fart bill doesn't care about the pandemic, the unemployed, the debt that we've got, and we're focusing on birthday balloons, and I think it really sends the wrong message. So thank you for mentioning that, because I wasn't sure that was even going to come up again, but it's come up again, and I feel very strongly it's the wrong signal, it's the wrong use of our time, and people are going to think of it. You can love the atmosphere, but hey, talking about balloons, there's so few people who use them, and then what they do is so insignificant.
So we can expect your support on this bill when you hear it today at 2?
Yeah, it's going to be in judiciary hearing again. I probably won't be as elaborate as you've asked me. You've provoked me early in the morning about something that's of such insignificance to the people of Hawaii, where things really matter. And you know, when you look at all of the actual amount of pollution that comes out of Hawaii, we are infinitesimal, a manini of the manini in terms of changing the world around. Of course, we got to do our share, but in terms of what we can do and what difference we're making, it's almost insignificant.
Absolutely. Transitioning then to the everyday man, I suppose. There was an article in Civil Beat this morning that says that we're short about 10,000 retail jobs at the end of 2020 compared to 2019. You're a former retailer. I'm an alumni in the retail industry, I guess. So how do you suggest we get back? Is retail done? How do we get those jobs back for folks?
Well, first of all, we should have never let Love's Bakery die. I was just saddened by the 200 and some 60 people that are going to be put on the wayside. They were retailer, manufacturers, etc. As you know, I was a retailer in Waikiki, and we had with Sam Kong and I, the Small Business Caucus co-chairs, we had the Retail Merchants Association speak to our group. We had the Chamber of Commerce speak to our group. And they said, up to 40% of the retailers may not reopen their business. Kaio, this is really serious. Those are thousands upon thousands. So what the Civil Beat article is maybe just the tip of the iceberg. How do you prevent such a thing? Well, instead of hearing about these cow farts and balloons, we should be looking at a bill that says we should have a survival task force put together by DBED, along with the bankers, along with consultants, along with venture capitalists, to go to those things that are ready to go under, like Love's Bakery or the Kaneohe Bakery, and catch them before they slip off the edge. We have been so arrogant about the businesses are on their own, they're rich, they can take care of themselves. Now we're feeling the roost, if you will, as the most unfriendly business in the state of Hawaii, being the most unfriendly in, quote, the nation. Those are the things that we can prevent. Those are the things we're not paying attention to. And it's unfortunate that the Loves and many, many more, as that article projects, going to go down the drain. We say, well, why did this happen? Well, we've been sitting on our hands and not have been entrepreneurial or reactive enough to help them survive.
We got about a minute left, Rep. Ward. So I'll throw you.
We just got started.
I know. Never a dull moment, right?
I'm just waking up now.
So you were on, throw in a little fun one. You were on a segment with our good colleague Jacob in the Senate. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your performance on that forum?
What did I say or what did I didn't say before I feel guilty about this? I was in the which performance? I'm not sure which.
It was the second segment of the hour-long special.
Okay, what was the topic?
Anything and everything.
Anything.
I thought you were.
What I like about those is that we can banter back and forth, which is what we don't do on the floor of the House of Representatives enough. People need to know what the logic is behind. If it's a yay or a nay, people want to know, why have you voted this way? Why have you not voted this way? And those forums that you're mentioning are really good examples to see what's behind all of these things and what's the logic of it, and why are we doing such things that we're doing. Again, I go back to the cow farts. Why are we doing that? Because we're not paying attention to the Love's Bakery, the pandemic, and the other things that we should be putting under concentration.
Absolutely. Extra plug to our good friends at Olelo for setting that up last week. Rep. Ward, we're out of time. So I just want to thank you again for joining us, for covering for our good friend from Eva Beach. Thanks again to the people at Olelo for allowing this program to happen. And we will see you next week live at the Legislature. Aloha.
Aloha and mahalo.
What are you doing? We have to go. I'm gonna be late for work.
It's Tuesday morning. I gotta record live at the Legislature on Olelo. Senate and House leadership discussing what's happening at the state capitol.
So just watch it on the news tonight. Come on, let's go.
Hey, this is like getting the news before it's news. If only I could get this remote to work.
There. Can we go now?
No DVR? No problem. Watch Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. on Channel 49.